rebuilding yourself become? Rebuilding yourself is one of the most courageous acts a person can undertake. It's an invitation to step into the unknown, to challenge the limits of who you thought you were, and to rise from the ashes of setbacks, failures, or heartbreaks. Rebuilding is not about returning to the old, it's about becoming something new, something stronger, and something wiser. Acceptance is the first and most vital step in the journey of rebuilding yourself. It's not about resigning to your circumstances or admitting defeat, rather, it's about confronting the reality of where you are without judgment, resistance, or denial. When life delivers blows that knock you down, the instinct can often be to avoid, suppress, or fight against what has happened. We cling to the idea of how things should have been, what could have been done differently, or how unfairly life has treated us. But this resistance only deepens the pain, prolongs the healing process, and keeps us trapped in a cycle of frustration and regret. Acceptance, on the other hand, frees us. It is the foundation upon which we can begin to rebuild. To accept your present reality means to face it fully, even when it's uncomfortable or painful. It's about looking at your situation with clarity and honesty, recognizing both the losses and the opportunities within it. It requires you to stop running from the truth, to stop distracting yourself with excuses, and to sit with what is. This process can feel overwhelming at first, especially if the circumstances you're facing are ones you never imagined for yourself. But within the act of acceptance lies a profound power, the power to reclaim your agency and begin the process of change. You cannot rebuild what you refuse to see. Acknowledging your current state is not an act of weakness, it's an act of courage. When you accept where you are, you begin to dismantle the emotional weight of guilt, blame, and shame that often accompanies personal setbacks. Many times we carry these burdens unnecessarily, believing that they are somehow productive or that they will motivate us to do better. But guilt and shame are paralyzing forces. They keep us stuck in the past, rehashing mistakes instead of learning from them. Acceptance allows you to lay these burdens down. It reminds you that your worth is not tied to your failures, and that what defines you is not the fall but the rise that follows. Acceptance also involves letting go of the what-ifs that plague the mind after difficult experiences. What if I had done things differently? What if I had been smarter, stronger, or more prepared? These questions are natural, but they are also unhelpful. They keep you tethered to a version of the past that no longer exists, draining your energy and focus from the present moment. The present is the only place where change can occur, where growth can begin, and where you can take steps toward becoming who you want to be. By accepting where you are now, you shift your focus away from what cannot be changed and toward what can. This process is not about giving up on your dreams or aspirations. Acceptance does not mean settling for less or becoming complacent. Instead, it is about recalibrating your expectations and aligning them with the current reality. It's about understanding that while you may not be where you want to be, you are exactly where you need to be to start again. Every great transformation begins with a moment of clarity, a moment when you decide to face the truth and take responsibility for your next steps. That moment of clarity comes through acceptance. One of the greatest challenges of acceptance is learning to sit with discomfort. As humans, we are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, which is why facing harsh truths can feel so difficult. But growth does not happen in comfort zones. It happens when we lean into discomfort, confront our fears, and allow ourselves to feel deeply. This process can be messy, emotional, and unpredictable, but it is also profoundly liberating. When you stop running from your pain and start acknowledging it, you create space for healing to begin. Acceptance is also about reframing how you see the situation. Instead of viewing your current circumstances as an end, try to see them as a new beginning. Every setback is a setup for a comeback, and every failure carries within it the seeds of future success. By accepting where you are, you allow yourself to tap into the lessons and opportunities that lie hidden within the struggle. Life has a way of teaching us through adversity, and acceptance is the key to unlocking those lessons. In accepting your present reality, you also make peace with the timeline of your life. It's easy to feel discouraged when you compare yourself to others or to the expectations you had for yourself. You may think, I should have been farther along by now, or this isn't where I plan to be. But acceptance reminds you that life unfolds in its own time, not according to your schedule. It allows you to release the pressure of arbitrary deadlines and to trust that your journey is uniquely yours. Through acceptance, you reclaim your power. You may not have control over what happened to you, but you have complete control over how you respond. By facing your reality with open eyes and an open heart, you take the first step toward transformation. You remind yourself that you are not defined by your circumstances, but by your choices, and you choose to rebuild. Acceptance is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of a new chapter. It is the moment when you decide to stop dwelling on what was and start creating what will be. In accepting where you are, you give yourself permission to move forward. You grant yourself the grace to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. You embrace the truth of your situation, not as a limitation, but as a launching pad for growth. This is the essence of acceptance, not a passive surrender, but an active engagement with the present moment. It is the foundation of all rebuilding, and it is the first step toward becoming the person you are meant to be. Rebuilding yourself begins with the courageous decision to reimagine your identity. It is the act of letting go of the version of yourself that has been shaped by past failures, limitations, and expectations, and daring to envision who you could become. This process is not about fixing what feels broken or trying to reclaim what has been lost. It is about creating a new self, a self that is stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. Reimagining your identity is an invitation to step into the unknown, where the boundaries of possibility are limited only by the scope of your vision and the strength of your resolve. To reimagine your identity, you must first understand that identity is not static. It is not a fixed label that defines who you are forever, but a fluid and evolving concept that grows with your experiences, choices, and aspirations. Many of us carry identities that have been handed to us by others, parents, teachers, society, often without question. These identities can feel like a script we are expected to follow, even if they no longer serve us. Reimagining your identity requires you to question that script. Who are you beyond the roles you have played, the titles you have held, and the expectations placed upon you? Who do you want to become when the weight of those expectations is lifted? This process of redefinition begins with clarity. Take the time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What values, principles, and passions resonate with the core of who you are? These are the building blocks of your new identity. Rather than focusing on external achievements or superficial markers of success, anchor yourself in what feels authentic and meaningful. When you rebuild from a place of authenticity, you create an identity that is not only resilient but also deeply fulfilling. Reimagining your identity also requires a willingness to let go. This can be one of the most challenging aspects of the journey because it involves releasing parts of yourself that you may have held onto for years. These could be limiting beliefs, old habits, or even relationships that no longer align with the person you are becoming. Letting go is not about erasing the past or denying its impact. It is about making space for the new. It is an act of self-compassion, recognizing that growth often requires shedding what no longer serves you. As you begin to envision your new self, allow yourself the freedom to dream boldly. Reimagining your identity is not constrained by the past or by the opinions of others. It is an opportunity to define your life on your own terms. Think about the qualities you admire in others and the strengths you wish to cultivate within yourself. Imagine the kind of life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. These visions are not just fantasies, they are blueprints for the person you are capable of becoming. The act of reimagining also involves stepping outside your comfort zone. Change is inherently uncomfortable because it pushes you beyond the boundaries of familiarity. It requires you to take risks, to embrace uncertainty, and to face the fear of failure. But within that discomfort lies the potential for extraordinary growth. Every step you take toward reimagining your identity, no matter how small, is a step toward a life that feels more aligned with your true self. To reimagine your identity is also to reclaim your narrative. Too often, we allow our identities to be shaped by the stories others tell about us, stories of who we should be, what we should do, or what we are capable of. But you are the author of your story, and you have the power to rewrite it. This doesn't mean denying the chapters that have come before. It means reframing them in a way that empowers you. Instead of seeing your past mistakes or failures as defining moments, view them as lessons that have prepared you for this transformation. The journey of reimagining your identity is not one you have to take alone. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who see your potential, and who support your growth. Seek out mentors, friends, or communities that align with the values and vision you are cultivating. These relationships serve as mirrors, reflecting the best version of yourself and encouraging you to keep moving forward. As you reimagine your identity, understand that this process is ongoing. There will never be a moment when you have fully arrived because becoming is a lifelong journey. Each experience, challenge, and triumph shapes who you are, adding new layers to your identity. Embrace this fluidity and allow yourself to evolve continuously. Through this process, you will come to see that reimagining your identity is not just an act of transformation, but an act of liberation. It frees you from the constraints of the past and opens the door to a future filled with possibility. It allows you to step into your power, to claim your purpose, and to live a life that is authentically yours. You are not bound by who you were yesterday, or even who you are today. You have the capacity to become someone new, someone extraordinary, and someone who reflects the full potential of your unique journey. Healing is an essential step in the process of rebuilding yourself, but it's not a single act or a quick fix. It's a journey, a deeply personal and transformative journey that unfolds over time. Healing begins with acknowledging your pain, the wounds that life has left on you, and the impact of those experiences. It's about facing the truth of your struggles and allowing yourself to feel, process, and ultimately release the emotions tied to them. True healing doesn't happen through avoidance or suppression. It happens when you have the courage to sit with your discomfort and work through it, one layer at a time. One of the first steps in the healing process is to create a space where you feel safe to confront your pain. This might be a physical space, a mental state, or even a supportive community. Healing requires vulnerability, and vulnerability thrives in an environment of safety. When you create this space for yourself, you give permission to your heart and mind to explore the hurt without fear of judgment or rejection. This is not about wallowing in sadness, but about giving yourself the freedom to grieve, to feel anger, or to confront any emotion that has been buried deep within. A critical part of healing is understanding that it is not linear. There will be days when you feel like you're making great strides and others when it feels like you've taken a step back. This is normal and part of the process. Healing isn't about reaching a destination, but about the progress you make along the way. It's about learning to be gentle with yourself on the hard days and celebrating the small victories on the good ones. These fluctuations don't mean you're failing, they mean you're human. Healing also requires forgiveness, not just of others, but often of yourself. Forgiveness is a powerful tool that allows you to let go of resentment, anger, and guilt. These emotions are heavy and can weigh you down, preventing you from moving forward. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing harmful actions or forgetting what has happened. Instead, it means releasing the grip those actions have on your heart and mind. It's about reclaiming your energy and redirecting it toward growth and renewal. Forgiving yourself is equally important. It's about acknowledging your mistakes, understanding that imperfection is part of the human experience, and committing to learn and grow from those mistakes rather than letting them define you. Another key element of healing is self-compassion. Too often, we are our harshest critics, berating ourselves for not being strong enough, fast enough, or resilient enough to overcome our struggles. But healing flourishes in an environment of kindness, and this begins with the way you treat yourself. Speak to yourself as you would a dear friend, offering encouragement, understanding, and patience. Accept that it's okay to not be okay sometimes, and that seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. Healing is also about reconnecting with your body and mind. Emotional wounds often manifest in physical ways: tension in your muscles, a racing heart, or a sense of fatigue that you can't shake. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, yoga, or even a simple walk in nature can help you reconnect with your body and release the stress that it holds. These practices ground you in the present moment and remind you that healing is not just an emotional journey, but a physical one as well. As you work through your pain, it's important to focus on the lessons it holds. Every wound, every scar carries a story and a message. What has your pain taught you about yourself, about others, about life? These lessons, though often born from hardship, are gifts that can guide your growth and transformation. They remind you of your resilience, your strength, and your capacity to overcome even the most difficult challenges. By finding meaning in your struggles, you turn them into stepping stones on your path to healing. Connection with others can also play a vital role in healing. While the journey is deeply personal, sharing it with trusted friends, family, or even a therapist can provide comfort and perspective. Others may offer insights, support, or simply the presence you need to feel less alone. Healing in community reminds you that while your pain may be unique, the experience of suffering is universal, and through shared understanding, we can find solace and strength. Healing is not about erasing the past or pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about integrating those experiences into your story in a way that empowers you rather than limits you. It's about transforming the pain into wisdom, the scars into badges of honor, and the losses into reminders of the value of what remains. Healing changes the way you see yourself and the world around you, enabling you to approach life with greater compassion, empathy, and gratitude. Ultimately, healing is a gift you give to yourself. It's a declaration that you are worth the effort, the time, and the patience it takes to mend what has been broken. It's an act of reclaiming your life, of choosing hope over despair, and of believing in your capacity to grow and thrive. The journey may be long and challenging, but it is also deeply rewarding. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a testament to your strength and determination to rebuild yourself into a person who is not just whole but transformed. Through healing, you create a foundation upon which to build the life you deserve, a life defined not by the pain you've endured, but by the love, joy, and fulfillment you've cultivated in its place. Embracing change is a fundamental part of rebuilding yourself. Change is inevitable in life, yet it is often met with resistance, fear, or hesitation. This resistance comes from the comfort of familiarity, even when that familiarity no longer serves your growth or well-being. But to rebuild yourself, you must be willing to accept and embrace change as an opportunity for transformation. It is not merely about tolerating change, but about leaning into it with an open heart and mind, understanding that it is through change that you unlock new possibilities and discover your true potential. The first step in embracing change is to shift your mindset. Many people view change as something to be avoided or controlled, associating it with loss or discomfort. While it is true that change often involves letting go of the past, it also creates space for something new to emerge. Instead of fearing what you might lose, focus on what you stand to gain. Change is not an ending but a beginning, a doorway to a new chapter in your life. By reframing change as a catalyst for growth rather than a threat, you can approach it with curiosity and optimism. Fear is a natural response to change because it pushes you into the unknown. The uncertainty of what lies ahead can be intimidating, but it is also where growth happens. Fear is not a sign that you should retreat. It is a signal that you are stepping outside your comfort zone, and that is where true transformation begins. Embracing change requires courage, the courage to face your fears, to take risks, and to trust in your ability to navigate whatever challenges come your way. This courage grows with each step you take, building your confidence and resilience. Change also requires adaptability, the ability to adjust to new circumstances with flexibility and grace. Life is unpredictable, and the path to rebuilding yourself will rarely be linear. There will be detours, setbacks, and surprises along the way. Rather than resisting these deviations, see them as opportunities to learn and evolve. Adaptability is not about compromising your values or goals, it is about finding new ways to achieve them when the original plan no longer fits. It is about staying open to the lessons that change brings and using those lessons to refine your vision of who you want to become. One of the greatest challenges of embracing change is letting go of the past. Whether it is a job, a relationship, a habit, or an identity, the things we hold on to often feel like anchors in a stormy sea. But those same anchors can also keep us stuck, preventing us from moving forward. Letting go is not about erasing the past or denying its significance. It is about acknowledging its role in your journey and then releasing it with gratitude. It is about trusting that what lies ahead holds more value than what you are leaving behind. Embracing change also means embracing the discomfort that comes with it. Change disrupts the status quo and often brings feelings of uncertainty, frustration, or even pain. But discomfort is not something to avoid, it is a sign that you are growing. Growth is rarely comfortable because it requires you to stretch beyond your limits, to challenge old beliefs, and to confront parts of yourself that you may have ignored. By accepting discomfort as a natural part of the process, you can move through it with greater ease and resilience. One of the most empowering aspects of embracing change is the sense of agency it gives you. While you cannot control every change that happens in your life, you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to see change as an opportunity rather than an obstacle, as a chance to rewrite your story and align your life with your true desires. This sense of choice is what transforms change from something that happens to you into something you actively participate in. It is a declaration that you are not a passive recipient of life's circumstances, but a co-creator of your future. Support can be invaluable when navigating change. Surround yourself with people who encourage and inspire you, who remind you of your strength and potential. These individuals can offer guidance, perspective, and reassurance when the road ahead feels uncertain. At the same time, remember that the journey of embracing change is ultimately yours to take. While others can walk beside you, the steps must be your own. This is your transformation, and it is your willingness to embrace change that will determine the outcome. As you embrace change, celebrate your progress along the way. Each step, no matter how small, is a victory. Acknowledge the courage it takes to face the unknown and the strength it takes to keep moving forward. These moments of celebration not only boost your confidence, but also reinforce your commitment to the process. They remind you that change is not just about the destination, but about the journey itself. In the end, embracing change is about faith in yourself, faith in the process, and faith in the idea that transformation is possible. It is about believing that you are capable of growth, and that the effort you put into rebuilding yourself will lead to a life that is richer, fuller, and more aligned with who you are meant to be. Change is not something to fear or resist, it is something to welcome with open arms, for it is through change that you become the person you are destined to be.